What is going on, everyone? Another day, another you, another me. My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the left-hand corner of the map. Our protagonist for today, he's going to be playing some Tezcatlipoca for us, and he is Troll Pack. The players are out, and they're trying to learn. They're trying to cook. Troll Pack here, he's had a lot of really good ideas for new civs and old civs over the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. He's come up with some really cool ideas. This guy here, Tezcatlipoca, has not been investigated to the same levels, I would say, as Huitzilopochtli or Ketz, right? These two gods, I mean, even if you take a look at the actual stats, the play rate, you can see Huitzilopochtli is up at like nearly 9%. Quetzalcoatl also nearly 9%. Tezcatlipoca drops down to that 6%, so a little bit less. And especially when you climb up the rankings there, Tezcatlipoca is at like 4% play rate when you only include the top, like, I don't know, 1% of players. So at the very high levels of the ladder, this god is still in its infancy, I would say. I think he's a difficult god to play, and I think inside of that, I mean, Aztecs in general are just very difficult to really maximize their power. But Tezcatlipoca is going to be one of the more challenging ones. I'll come back to it. Ulysses is his opponent today, playing as Poseidon. A lot of players are saying that Poseidon is one of the more powerful gods versus the Aztecs because Aztecs don't have an amazing time versus the Centaur. So we'll see if that's going to be the case in this game. We are on the map Elysium, everyone's favorite grassy Greenland with gold mines spread out all across the map. Up onto this top side, we've got the Feather of Jingwei boosting up wood. Over onto this side, we have the Ankh of Ra boosting up that favor trickle rate. Over onto this side, Oseberg Wagon with some caravan move speed there, as well as on the bottom, we got Sharon's Obel. So why is Tezcatlipoca so challenging to play? Well, on the one hand, he does have a focus. Unlike Susanoo, who doesn't really have a focus, and he's known as the god. He's actually more like, I thought he was the myth unit god, but he's actually the god power god after all is said and done there. Tezcatlipoca is without question the myth unit god. Now, he's also got access to some other unique bonuses outside of that obsidian shard mechanic, whereby if you lose 2 myth units, you get an obsidian shard. It is a building. And if it stays alive for long enough, you get a random myth unit from that age. Outside of that, he also has some other bonuses. So let me just show those off to you. He's also building his traps faster, his towers faster, as well as his devoting of settlers getting extra favor. So I would be interested to see if Troll Pack maybe decides, well, let's try out some trap shenanigans here. Let's try out some settler devotion shenanigans here. Me personally, I think there's some really strong ideas inside of this god right here that he is going for. Huehue Coyotl. You get access to the, I'm just going to call him the laser turret boy. This is now affectionately known as the laser turret boy. Shinekyu. I'm sorry, I've got no idea. But here's the laser turret boy. There's some really cool ideas inside of this guy. He's got this technology here whereby if he ends up losing a turret boy, he has a 50% chance of spawning a spike trap, which then obviously plays into the bonus of Tezcatlipoca in 2 ways. You have the boosted spike traps with damage, and you also get the obsidian shards. So spamming these guys out, grabbing this tech makes it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So we'll see if he wants to go that way or not. On the other side here, Ulysses, he's opening up with the stable. He's going to be sending his Atalanta and Centaur forward to get some early game damage done. On the defense here, you have the Warrior Priest for Troll Pack already out. He's also got the the laser turret boy here. This guy is a nice counter actually to the early game anyways of Poseidon. So long as you have out the defense for the Atalanta, then all of a sudden the turret boy sits in here, protects the gold mine from any sort of centaur shenanigans. If the centaur comes close, then all of a sudden he's doing 2x bonus damage with the divine damage and the pierce damage, and he's going to actually be able to get really good damage done onto those centaurs. You can't go close. So yeah, Huehue Coyotl is an amazing answer. And that's not the only thing. You also have Lullaby, which basically is going to be putting to sleep all of the centaurs such that your slow 4.8 speed warrior priests can jump onto them and kill them very, very quickly and easily. So it is a very dangerous thing to go centaurs versus Huehue Coyotl. However, Hippias coming through. The spy gets spotted. He was hiding out on the forest. The one thing with the spy is you've got such good line of sight that there's really no excuse for you to actually lose, as the centaur takes a couple of smacks there. There's no excuse for you to actually be losing that spy. Of course, I say that, but I'm going to lose it every single game from now on. But you see everything, so you can run from anyone coming along the path of your spy around the forest, stay in invis, and you're going to be good. Meanwhile, we are actually seeing the Nahuatl. I'm sorry, I don't know. He has got this one pre-queued, so there is a plan here to go in for traps. 20% cheaper traps means not 100 wood, but 80 wood for a trap. And that starts being really, really nice, or feeling really, really nice. As the Hippias slowly going down, Ulysses will have to pull back and think about where to go next. He's got his walls set up already on the top. Love to see that, but there's not really anything over here that he's defending aside from the settlement. So, realistically here, he probably could have got away with wall, wall, and wall, and it would have been absolutely fine. He does have these crown crane that you can come up to and eat at some point and feel relatively safe because you can run through the wall. But anyways, neither here nor there. Ulysses at this point should also be thinking about grabbing himself this technology here, Lord of Horses, so that his low HP Hippias can get their HP back. And now we're starting to see the traps coming down. We got Smoke Trap here. These are really cheap at the moment now. Once he gets... Actually, no, he hasn't got the tech yet. But 40 resources for basically infinite line of sight. I would like to see the trap actually triggered to not get cast automatically. Your opponent might not notice it if they run over it. And you don't really want it to trigger unless you're there to take the fight. As the Atalanta chasing down these spearmen. I feel like 3 spearmen beats 1 Atalanta, but I could be wrong. Nonetheless... more units are going to come through. Does decide to turn around, get some poking in, and Atalanta is now out of there. And Ulysses and Trollpack will continue along in this game as the Teponsli drums to come through. Like, plus 10% speed on everything is really, really good. You've already got 4.8 speed spearmen. They're going to go up to above 5 speed. The warrior priest go up to 5.3 speed. Everything is 5.3 speed here. That's really good. Ulysses makes a really smart move here, though, and he decides, let's go into some hoplites. If you're going to go spearmen, then hoplites counter the spearmen in a big way. Also, some Toxotes in, smacking at that centaur as that warrior priest with nearly no HP does end up going down, unfortunately. Up onto the top side, spearmen spreading out, looking for all the raids all across the place here as the turret boy does manage to take out a Pegasus. One of the few units that can consistently take out flying units is going to be this laser turret boy because he has 100% accuracy. The other thing that's really important with him is to make sure he's actually in turret mode. He's not in turret mode here, therefore he's only got 30% hack armor. If you turn him into turret mode, he goes up to 60% turret armor, as that bad boy there does actually end up blowing up, and all is good. You also get bonus damage from turning him into a turret. So it is. I think it's really important to use that. I'm not exactly sure how it's supposed to work, but at the moment, I think you have to hold Shift and push Q to turn it into a turret. If you don't, and you just hit Q, I'm not sure. So shift Q if it's just one, shift Q if it's many, shift Q, and then all turn. The reason I bring it up is because this is the most tanky myth unit per cost in the game when in turret. The only weakness is that its crush armor goes down, but nothing deals crush damage apart from siege or siege myth units. So siege myth units are going to counter this really, really hard, but you can always run from those siege myth units. He's kind of quick. He's at 4.3 speed, so you're going to be able to get away from those siege myth units very, very often, right? Nonetheless, heroic age now coming through. It's going to be our Koyol Shoki. I'm never going to get it. I was going to keep on looking these up, but I think I need to spend some me time studying. Ulysses also going to go through Aphrodite and Troll Pack back into his main base. He's going to get walls up. I'm really interested to see the actual base here. Look at this from Troll Pack. Spike trap, spike trap, spike trap, spike trap, smoke trap. That's a big spend on that area at 80 wood apiece. But if Ulysses comes here at any point, he's going to be under a lot of pain. Of course, he can sacrifice some units to break them or whatever, but or one unit to break each of them, but still that's going to be some damage. Anyways, temple under attack here as the Tekiwa archers do come through, and the hoplite will be pulling back away from here. But the Tzitza are in. Starfall is going to be an option now as well for Troll Pack. Now, here's my contention with Tezcatlipoca. My contention is, do not build do not build heroic age myth units. If you have the tower, build the tower. Why? Well, the answer is 2 towers dying equals 1 heroic age myth unit if you keep it alive. Whereas, and it's really cheap. Whereas 2 heroic age myth units, much more expensive. You're going to get less of them. You're going to be dipping into your god power bonus, your major god bonus much less. And also, those towers are really strong. So yeah, that's my contention. Take it or leave it. I don't know. A little bit of a spearman raid coming over onto this side, but Ulysses has already got his walls set up. He's ready to run. You can get out of here. I'd love to see Trollback actually dropping down some more traps onto this spot. He drops down the Starfall here as well. Ulysses does have himself ceasefire. He runs outside of this one as the Tzitza middles will start to come through, and Trollpack has done it correctly. He's got himself the Star Demon Tzitza middles with the upgrade there, so they're going to be even stronger than you would expect as the roar comes down, the spearmen pulling back. And the game will continue as Ulysses, he gets a pretty good defense there. A pretty good defense up onto the top side, grabbing food. Out in the open is a little bit risky. We've also got the Tech Shipler getting converted here. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but the Tech Shipler gets converted there. And we've also got, for Ulysses, he goes into golden apples. Now, normally when you grab golden apples, you want to have 3 to 5 villages on favor minimum, so that you can then go into your Centaur or Nemean Lions or upgrades or whatever. As the wooden gate's getting beaten down there by the Tzitza middles, he's going to be hitting those villages, and a ceasefire, I think, might need to be cast. That being said, I feel like you want to save ceasefire for Lullaby nearly every single time. And there Ulysses goes with the ceasefire. He keeps all his villages alive. He's going to get back onto the gold mine. His army's now moving over onto this side. And we'll see if Ulysses can defend it all as the Tzitza middles pull back. Ulysses now making himself some Centaur. And he's got himself 2 heroes out. I'd love to see that Hippolyta out as well to deal with these guys. And, you know, potentially a fortress coming down fairly soon. An attempt to put an obsidian spike trap down onto this position as the wall getting broken down. We've got the Tishipla to dive in onto this spot, not able to dive onto the Nemean line. And you can see that this guy, if you send him in by himself, he's not that crazy. You can take him out quickly. As the archers getting cleaned up a little bit. Ulysses finding himself a little bit of an advantage here. Onto the backside there. Dropping some tits and middles here is not going to be ideal. An Obsidian Shard does fall there. It's going to be super important to take that out as a couple of hoplites running straight over it. Everyone ignoring the Obsidian Shard. Not ideal because that there will become an armadillo. As an attempt to get some walls up and block these guys off. Not going to happen. Looks like the tits and middles will get out of here, but Ulysses has forgotten about the Obsidian Shard. Yes, it takes time to kill it off, but if you don't, one armadillo and some pain to come in for our main man, Ulysses. On top of that, this guy also contributes to more Obsidian Shards once he pops out. So he's just going to hang here for a little bit, and maybe he can do something a little bit later, like breaking the walls or whatever. But nonetheless, we are seeing Trollpack basically just go into his Tequiwa archers here, which, yes, he's playing up against heavy hoplites. Maybe this is his best move, actually. He's playing up against the heavy hoplites. Now he can make Shorn ones, and they will be an amazing answer here as the lullaby does come down. No answers to this for Ulysses. He doesn't have a ceasefire. He doesn't have a curse. He has to pull back ever so slightly. Now he decides, no, I can take the fight. I've got the stronger army to some degree. He's not wrong. He's got Peltast over onto the side, though. The Shorn ones are going to be coming through. They will deal with these hoplites so obscenely well. But Trollpack pulls back into his main base, and he's in a little bit of trouble. You have to look at the Tequiwa archers as well. They've got 5 speed, so they can kite hoplites for days. But that being said, now that the Shorn ones are out, the best answer for these are either going to be Mass Centaur or Toxotes. Now, I don't believe Ulysses... He does have medium archers, actually, so it's not the biggest of tech switches. Hippias kind of beat the Shorn ones as well, but Toxotes are going to be your best bet. So mixing in like 10 to 15 Toxotes here to deal with those Shorn ones. They're also decent against Tequiwa archers as well. Would be the best next move for Ulysses. He is going in for Nemean Lions, however, which arguably makes sense as well. Stunning up the Shorn ones on the front and then just sniping them down really quickly. That could be really, really strong. On top of that, Trollpack has lost his heroes. He's got no heroes remaining, so it's an amazing position now. I don't think he's got no heroes left. It's an amazing position now for Ulysses to actually go into these myth units. Of course, Trollpack can build heroes if he so chooses, but he has none out at the moment. So a little bit of trickiness for Ulysses is going to go a long way as the Armadillo tries to pull back home. Not able to do so, but does donate one more unit over to the next Obsidian Shard. So if Trollpack wants to build out one of these laser turret boys, and that can go into another Obsidian Shard, he can go for that. Or alternatively, just another Tits in the middle, and he could be good where that's concerned. As well as the temple getting beaten down. I like killing off this temple. This is really smart because that's going to limit the warrior priests here as the Tezcatlipoca is going to get converted in. That's going to be some pain here. Ulysses kind of ignoring the fact that there's these Tezcatlipoca towers in here. They're going to be that's going to be a lot of damage coming in onto the Ulysses army. Doesn't really have the army to be winning here as Ulysses says, all right, time to pull back, turns around with the Nemean Lion, drops that special ability, needs to pull his army back and play just that little bit slower. Just checking out all of these buildings here for Trollpack. 400 damage, 300 damage. Might not seem like a lot, but he's also having like his speed getting slowed down inside of this position as well as more units just pile in and the defense is complete. Trollpack now in command here with his Tezcatlipoca. On the side here, Roar of Orthus, pretty cute. I do love me some Roar of Orthus, Nemean Rexes. But that's going to be just a little bit away from completion there as Ulysses does need to build his farms. He needs to go into farms here. Moving into the... Or you can just keep on going to hunt. There's still plenty of hunt on the map. Somewhat risky, but now we see some more tits and middles to come through as well. Into the middle of the map. A fortress to come down as the units do get spotted charging into the middle there as the Nemean Lion gets the roars off. And look at that stun. That overlap was almost done perfectly from Ulysses. He picks off nearly every single one of those spearmen. He's got to be careful with the next part of this fight. Those Tizcatlipoca are also an amazing answer to the Nemean Lions. As villagers getting converted in, we're seeing some more Tizcatlipoca coming through. One Tizcatlipoca does end up falling on the front. That's going to be an obsidian shard there. No heroes in for the moment for Ulysses is, I would say, a very, very big mistake. You always want to have those heroes out against, just in general with Poseidon, with Greek, but even more so against the myth-focused gods like Tezcatlipoca. As another obsidian shard does get dropped down, and Ulysses pulling back now as a Tezcatlipoca does come through. You can pull back to his fortress garrison into that one. These Nemean Lions aren't quite faster than the Tezcatlipoca, and the Tezcatlipoca can jump, so I think he's going to be losing both of those, but simply sacking him off to the side, taking that unit out of the fight is going to be nice. But now the unattended, the left for dead, the not dealing with the obsidian shard shenanigans here from Ulysses does now mean Troll Pack is getting himself some more of these armadillos. So they pop in, and the Nemean Rexes coming through. The Tezcatlipoca almost down from the lifespan, but ends up falling there regardless before that one. And militarily speaking, Ulysses still in the lead for the time being here, as another Tezcatlipoca going to get brought in to help out. Up onto the top, the Shorn ones coming through again. More Nemean Lions, Nemean Rexes on the way, but the Tezcatlipoca immediately in onto this position, drops the stun. You can't stun the Tezcatlipoca. He jumps onto the Nemean Rex, takes that one out. The other Nemean Rex is going to be getting slapped down here as well, as Ulysses needs to pull back to his fortress. But now it looks like he has lost any sort of advantage that he might have been cooking here. Pulls back behind all of this position. The fortress is going to be somewhat of a defense, but I also see another obsidian shard coming, and there is the siege unit the Troll Pack needs to break through this fortress. Villagers going to be getting sniped. And all of the military for Ulysses seems to just have dissipated here. This fortress not going to be much help at all, it seems, as the reinforcements just aren't coming for Ulysses, and a very equal game turns into a heavy advantage for Troll Pack after all is said and done there. Fortress on the front will end up going down. Militia spawn, they're going to go down as well here, as I don't believe Troll Pack's going to be letting them retreat. And from here, what can Ulysses do? Peltast for the archers, Toxotes for the spearmen and the Shorn one. Heroes for all the myth units, but every single one of these obsidian shards seems to be popping in this game. Every single one. Up onto the top side here, the Tizcatlipoca coming in, going to start trying to smack down some of those villagers. Over onto this backside, Toxotes doing what they can, but the army numbers are just not in. The myth units are just too strong. The heroes coming over here as well, they're going to be coming through to try and take out these myth units, but without support here, that's going to be it. And Ulysses taps out as Troll Pack takes the win. Not exactly sure why I didn't say Ulysses resigned, but he did resign in this moment. That's the game there, ladies and gentlemen. A really interesting one. Troll Pack trying to make those traps work here. I do think there's a lot of potential with them, but I think that there's even more potential with those Huehue Coyotl laser turret boys inside of the Tezcatlipoca. I want to see that happening at some point, especially with that upgrade, though I'm not exactly sure how consistent that is. It's a 50% chance on death you spawn a spike trap. I don't like playing the gambling game. I'd rather it be every second laser turret boy dies, spawns a spike trap, but what can you do? Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game and you're enjoying the Aztecs, make sure you hit the follow button, the subscribe button, leave a comment as a matchup that you guys want to see. I'm Boit, and I'll see you guys in the next game.